Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and your money. Listen, today we are talking about something that has everybody side-eyeing social media. We spent the last few weeks hearing about national boycotts, blackouts, economic protests, and calls for people to withhold their money. But when Black Friday hit, the numbers went in the opposite direction. Online spending in the United States broke an all-time record at $11.8 billion. Global sales passed $79 billion. Mobile shopping hit historic levels. Millions of people said they were sitting out the holiday sales, yet the receipts told a very different story. So today we're asking the real question. Why do we talk boycotts but still swipe heavily? Are people struggling too much to miss a sale? And does protest only work when people have financial stability? And how do we shift the culture if our dollar is the loudest of our voice? So let's get into this money and this mindset and the reality behind the record-breaking spending. Now, I want to hear from everyone on our panel as well as our viewership family. Did you shop? Did you shop at all? Did you participate in the Black Friday, the Cyber Monday, the small business say, because they get the whole weekend, right? Did you shop? I want to see if you did or not. I will go first. Not one dime was spent for Black Friday or anything, nothing at all. So, and I actually had things frozen from earlier in the year that I used for our dinner. So I didn't even spend for the Thanksgiving dinner because I did not have to. So I'm going to ask you, doctors. Oh, first I got to introduce my panel. Wait a minute. Hold up. Lala's all up in this and didn't even tell you who we're talking to. The royal court today is Marlo, Lacen, film and TV producer and journalist. Joe Corley, licensed therapist and founder of Real You Consulting. Dr. Sabrina Williams, life and legacy planning strategist. And little me, Laura Lalaki, your singing international real estate agent. Family, I hope you all had a beautiful, beautiful holiday weekend, but I'd like to know, did you spend anything? Dr. Sabrina, I'm going to ask you, did you spend anything?
Well, I like Booker's response over here. He says, I shopped in the stock market. That's where we were shopping, Booker. And I can't wait till my family gets home in a few minutes to find out how well we actually did on our shopping. So that's where our shopping was.
I love it. I love it. How about you, Marlo?
I did not even in the stock market. I just relaxed. It was a great relaxing day without being bothered with purchasing because it's some kind of weird cultural thing. Nope, none for me.
It's priceless, that relaxing time, isn't it? How about you, Joe?
No, not at all. Not one drop. Not one dime.
Not one drop. Okay, we got the panel saying not one drop. Let's see what our family says out here. Tiffany says, I think they lying. I ran into Walmart for HDMI cord this morning. Black Friday displays didn't even look touch much. I have to say, I agree with her. I think these numbers are skewed. Waltrine said, hello, royal family. And she also said that no shopping for her. She did not. Double A said good afternoon and no shopping for her. And of course, we said Booker said, yeah, the stock market. Yeah, I think I'll let you slide on that one, Booker. I get you on that one. Listen, I think that there is a lot of behind the curtain Wizard of Oz things going on in this world right now. I think they release what they want to release to keep you in this magical world of Oz. Honestly, almost everyone that I know in my world did not shop. And from those people also told me they didn't have people that shopped either. So let's kind of start off with a video, and we're going to check this video out and get back into this conversation.
So you are going to tell me that those soldiers like myself who did not go and buy anything on Black Friday, didn't go into a store, didn't do any online shopping, and you gonna tell me that there was 11% increase in sales? You're not gonna lie to me. I know there were some soldiers like myself who held it down. I have enough stuff in my closet. It was nothing that I needed. I know we held it down, but you are going to try to make it appear that our efforts did not make any change. You're not slick at all.
I have to agree with her. So, Dr. Sabrina, what was your first reaction when you saw that Black Friday broke records despite all of our boycott talk?
I mean, I'm shaking my head because I'm trying to imagine who's spending money. Like who are these people? Where are they getting these people from? And as the lady just said, what in the world are we buying if we are spending money? Most of us are just like her. Everything that we need is already in our closets, in our cabinets, in our homes already. So what exactly are we spending money on? That was baffling to me. I'm gonna be honest.
I still don't get it. I mean, and then you got places that are pulling games on you, but we're going to talk about that as well. But Marlo, do you think that people ever intended to boycott, or do you think this was just like social media pressure? If you even believe that these numbers are true or not?
I mean, I don't know enough about the numbers, right? Are these numbers related to online shopping? Are these actual in-store, like brick and mortar receipts that we're seeing? So I don't like without knowing where the larger number or the biggest shopping day that to me sound like Donald Trump wrote it. So I mean, I don't know. It just that alone sounds like hyperbole. So I don't know anybody personally that went out and shopped. And I do know that working in local news, all of our requests from the big box retailers this year were denied. The only place that would let us in on Black Friday was Bass Pro Shop. So that tells me Bass Pro knew that they were gonna have their people in there, but the others didn't. And I've seen varying stories, people walking around in Walmart's recording and not seeing any people shopping. And then also what could very well be file footage, y'all, from national news saying that there were so many people standing online, so many people shopping. We just, in this day and age, how would you know?
Exactly. I believe that because I think the people who are holding the strings can very well skew everything. We already know that polls and stuffs are skewed anyway. We know that. But I'm sorry, in my heart of hearts, I'm just not, that's my truth. We made a dent and we still can continue to make a dent because eventually the truth will come out. So, Joe, do you think that it's really realistic for us to expect people to protest with money when so many are financially stressed out?
Realistic is a different kind of word you just used. So I don't know. I don't know how realistic it is because you have to go into everybody's home, everybody's pocket, and try to analyze kind of what, it seems like we want to boycott actually everything that, that causes us harm. That'd be really tough. I don't know how realistic that is, but certain like just a targeted a certain store, targeted like Target, that's realistic. Like those type of things are realistic. I think that when you start looking into like deep diving and everything, like sometimes I don't even want to know. I don't want to know who didn't align themselves with what, because it just becomes overwhelming. Like you can't do anything You drinking water and don't know, you know what I'm saying, where the water coming from, and who the water company supported. Like it's too much. So there does get to be a level of unrealistic expectations, but certain things are definitely realistic and very easy to do.
Very much so. And I think that's one of the reasons we around here, around these pots, we always are pushing for small business support, Black owned business support, those things, finding places like that that can cover what you're used to going at the places that we're calling for boycott. Those really count because our dollars really matter. So Kwame says, I did not shop on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, nor will I today. Booker says, to each his own. I encourage people to be aware. And I think that's exactly the point. We need to be aware. Yes, I'm with Joe. It is overwhelming, but there are a few apps that you can go to that you can see if that's something you want to spend your dollars on. Then Kimberly says, a lot of Black people held it down, but other groups spent. And Walterine says, I have trained myself to shop with purpose. If I don't need it, I'm not buying it. I am so with you. And Audrey says, I refuse to spend my money on Black Friday. Folks don't need half the things they buy unless it's food. And then go to Costco, family. Time is more important than gifts. I have to agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. And Minister says, I shopped a so-called Black company for my herbs. See, that was great. You found somewhere that was Black owned or, minority owned. I love that. We want to keep our money, our shmoney in our communities because it is powerful. Or else Target wouldn't be suffering and many other places wouldn't be suffering either. The numbers on those don't lie. We're going to take a short break and we will be right back.
It's a good show right here. But I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Edmon-Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So no.
Hey, is everybody on track? Because this Friday ain't black. Because we ain't buying shit. We ain't buying shit. And I stand up and never quit. We ain't buying shit. From the 25th of November to the 5th of December. Remember, we ain't buying shit. We ain't buying shit. This Friday ain't black. 'Cause we got each other's back. We ain't buying shit. We ain't buying shit. We ain't buying. We ain't buying. We ain't buying shit. Shaka Khan. Hey.
God, I love her so much. I will buy that song. Yay. Listen, she noticed. Now notice, guys, we are done. We're not done. This wasn't just until today. We are talking about not buying anything until the end of the week, which is December the 5th. I still plan on sticking with that. I need nothing. And honestly, we pulled out boxes today of clothes, and there were shoes and clothing that I was like, oh, I forgot I had those. I don't need, as Jennifer said, I ain't buying shit. I'm just not going to do it because I don't need it. I can shop in my own closet. But Dr. Sabrina, do you think that sales and deals are too tempting for families who are already kind of budgeting tightly?
I think in some instances they are, especially maybe people that have, small children that have traditionally celebrated Christmas, maybe with gift giving. And I don't know, as I become more seasoned, I have a whole different perspective on that. I grew up in an era where we did do gift giving. But then I think about it, if most of us that celebrate Christmas, we say we are celebrating the birth of Jesus, right? So when you think about your birthday, Lala, or my birthday, if I'm the birthday girl, people are bringing me gifts. I'm not giving out gifts to everybody else that shows up at the party. So it's like, at what point do we really get into this whole thing about giving other folks gifts on somebody else's birthday? If that's what we're really doing, if we're really celebrating his birthday, like, why the need to give other folks gifts? And especially in instances where people will go put themselves in debt to buy a gift just to show up. It's crazy. My opinion.
And let's not forget that there are people who get very offended at what you give them if they don't feel that it's enough. I do believe the whole thing is twisted, is definitely around consumerism. And some areas, if you ask me, greed in your heart are very deserving. My family used to give gifts when my son was young, but my son is in his late 30s. I don't need to do that. My mother-in-law doesn't want. We don't desire anything other than to be together. But I will tell you, one of the options that we are doing is for our neighbors, we're baking cookies. I don't need to go to the grocery for that. I got everything that I want for my sugar cookies. Lala's famous sugar cookies is what everybody gonna get in the neighborhood, and a Christmas song, because we are going back to caroling as a family. And to me, that's a gift, and that's a gift to me that's priceless. If they appreciate it, that's great. If they don't, that's on them. I can't say how that makes someone feel, but it makes us feel good putting something back in the world. So Marlo, do you think that protests actually only work when the middle class is strong? Because it seems like the middle class is always calling for correction.
Well, because the middle class is who gets hurt in the whole situation. The middle class pays the taxes so that the upper class can get the break, and they pay the taxes for, that subsidize the people that are on the lower economic spectrum. So the middle class is always gonna feel it from both ends. I just wanna, this is not even on your question, because obviously this is just people's mindset around shopping. To me is like Dr. Sabrina said, as I've evolved, it's just become one of the least important things that I do. And when I do have to go out and shop and buy something, I'm very studious about it. Like I know exactly what I am looking for, what I need, and a budget is set. So I've grown past the need for shopping to fulfill me. But I will say, growing up, my mom set a really good trend. So I'm gonna shout my mama out, Mama Walterine, in this moment, because she got to a point where she gave gifts year round. You would get a random thing from my mom in January, in June, for your birthday, for her birthday. If she saw something for her loved ones, she would just pick it up, something that they like, that they mentioned they like, something that they had an interest in, or just something thoughtful. And that kind of helped shape me as an adult and how I picture gift giving. So look, everybody around me knows I don't buy into any of this, because I will show you where capitalism created Christmas in the books. So I don't need to participate in this. But, to each his own. Some people like it. Some people feel good about that. But I just always praise my mom for having me with a perspective that one day is not the most important day for gift giving. If you love someone and you want to buy them gifts or you want to give them things, any day is an appropriate day to do that.
I absolutely love that. And I have to give shout out to my mom as well, because that was us as well in our household. And Walterina also says, I often think about my time as a little girl when we had Black owned stores in our communities. And those just seem to disappear. So you got to kind of search for them now, right? But Joe, listen, let's talk about a little bit of the mentality. Okay, we have built these holiday season consumerism around everything. So now it seems like everyone expects it. But what are some of the downsides and the depression side of it? Because I'm actually going through depression. Okay, I'm going to be very, very honest with everyone here. I am going through depression because this is the third year that I'm celebrating the holidays without my sisters. And that does a lot to my mental. So how do the holidays affect people when it comes to money or just life in general? What are some things that people can do to uplift themselves?
Well, okay. So to answer your first question, what are some of the things that are going through? I mean, holidays can bring about a lot of grief, and I'm doing a whole thing here downtown about holiday blues and how they can affect us. In my day job, I work with the communities facing homelessness. So there's a lot of conversations around how the holidays can affect you, especially if you grew up a certain way. You grew up, coming down the stairs and seeing all the gifts and things like that for Christmas, and you're not maybe doing that or providing that. That can feel like failure to you, and that could be depression. And a lot about what you're experiencing, I experienced it a lot too growing up. My mother died right before Christmas when I was 15 years old. So every Christmas for me feels like a loss in a lot of ways. So you experience those holiday blues because you're used to being with your family. It's not just about gift giving. It's also a time where families come together. And, the older we get, more and more people are falling off. Things aren't the same. Big mama ain't here no more. So we don't all get together at Big Mama house. Your kids is growing up and they got their own families. And, if you have sons, they got to go off with their wives, and you have daughters, they got to go off with their husbands. So it's just, it brings some holiday blues. And what can you do to offset that is create new traditions for yourself. I like to tell people to plan, like things feel like they go down for you on the holidays. Plan something for yourself, design it for yourself that uplifts you, and then execute that plan and do that without any type of guilt or feeling selfish during these time periods. You have to execute a plan. And so you can change your mindset and your emotions around those holidays when you change your traditions. It becomes something else for you. This is what I actually tell people to do.
I love those. I'm going to make sure that I honor my sisters by doing something special that they both loved during this holiday season. So one for Asher and one for Valerie. We are going to take a quick break and we will be right back.
I know you're busy, you got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming. Okay, let me stop playing.
It's getting crazier by the second, and something amazing is happening. We know that for the last couple of years, people have been shopping online, but today, the shoppers I've spoken to, they actually want to be here in person, going in and out of the stores, trying on clothes, and of course, getting in on these deals. I am seeing signage like this everywhere. Sale signs.
27 people. I counted 27 people in that 26-second clip. So is the crazy in the room with us? The way that mainstream and legacy media is trying to hype up Black Friday and hype up corporate sales when they are down in the dirt because we're boycotting those bastards. In case you don't know, it's mass blackout right now, and we're not shopping corporate and we're not fucking participating in Black Friday unless it's small business only. But I keep seeing mainstream media sources that are trying to act like shopping is hopping, but it's not. See, this is corporations spending their money to drive a message to make you believe that the blackout's not happening, to make you believe that the boycott's not working, so that you'll capitulate and you'll go spend your money with the corporations who are taking their biggest hit right now, because Black Friday and the Black Friday weekend is one of the biggest shopping weekends of the entire year, and people are not shopping. The boycott is working. Hold the fucking line.
I love Jolly Ginger. I absolutely love him. He's right. Hold the fucking line. I absolutely love him. But Dr. Sabrina, do you think that people are tired of fighting systems if they feel like nothing is really changing?
Yes, I do. I think to the point of the messaging that we're hearing about the sales. So if we can convince people that, you're wasting your time doing a boycott, nothing is changing, nothing is going to happen, then we wear them down and we drive them back to the stores. So I do think, it does play on your psyche, the messaging that you receive, because we know people do get tired of, and that lends itself even to things like voter apathy. Why people say, I don't show up at the polls because I don't see nothing changing. The same people getting in, the same people doing the same things. So I think that does, it does play a part in it.
I think you're right. And we've got a couple of people who also feel the same way that we do. El Michelle says mainstream media, the lies, lies, lies. Booker says goes back to who controls the media. And we know who controls the media. And media control is mind control. It's a reason they call it a remote control. Anonymous said the last boycott I participated in was a Gucci boycott when they did blackface. So we all have our reasoning to boycott certain companies. It has to be important to you, and it has to be important to something in your community. But all of us here have said that we have participated in this boycott. Marlo, you're in journalism, and so what does this say about our relationship with consumerism?
It can be easily exploited and it can be easily used against us, right? The same way that people market scarcity, a limited time offer, right? The same way that kind of stuff is, and you have that FOMO, right? You have that fear of missing out. You don't want this good thing to get away from you. And that's the same thing that they use. I mean, I wouldn't say that it's more about partnership, right? I don't want to make it seem like it's a more nefarious relationship between the media and corporations than it is, because it's just already dirty. The history of news is news exists to sell you things, right? It sold things to women in the morning and in the midday, and it sold things to men in the evening. And that's the way that the business works, and that's what matters most in it, right? So if you have a corporate partnership with Walmart because they buy millions of dollars of ad revenues during your 5:30 evening news, then of course when Walmart needs a little bit of good publicity, you're going to do it, because this is the time that those contracts are being renegotiated. This is the time that they're coming on, and if you're an NBC and you need to sell the Olympics, then you need to scratch people's backs that are going to pay money to send correspondents to Paris to talk about winter games that nobody cares about. It is just the symbiosis of the relationship, and everything that's about making money has a symbiotic relationship. I think Joe made an excellent point. If you really start digging into who's connected to who and who's on what board and who invests where, you wouldn't do nothing. You wouldn't go to work. You wouldn't get out of bed. Like, you would just be like a feral human, because you're always going to have to compromise your principles unless you live completely off the grid. And most of us don't live completely off the grid, because I see some of y'all posting that you off the grid, and clearly if you're on social media, you are on the grid. So it is a lot of incestuous relationships, and that's what corporate greed is. That's what corporate motion is. That is a lot of what we talk about, is making money. And that is how news maintains its money. It sells advertising for Walmart and Target and whatever the messaging is that they want to get out. They'll be participatory in getting that messaging out, because that's who pays the bills, essentially.
It's catch 22. It's really a catch 22. I absolutely love what Robert just said. He said, from an investor point of view, do I really want them to boycott? I have money invested in those companies. I want them to buy. Am I wrong for thinking like that? Joe, I'm going to throw that question to you, because that's an internal mental battle. I mean, how do you think that you can come together with that?
I think that a lot of people live on self-preservation, and like I said, I don't know if you should or shouldn't feel guilty about that. Like I said, I always preach that you should be in alignment with your values. So if Robert is doing things that are in alignment with his values, then he shouldn't feel any kind of way about it. Um, and that's for him to answer for himself. The companies that he's investing in, do they align with the man that he says he is, or the man that he wants to be, and the values that he has for himself and the people that are around him and he loves? And if they do, then what does it matter to anyone else what he's doing with his money? And that's it, and that's all. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think we should be looking over each other's fence, trying to judge each other for the decisions that we make to better our life, because you don't know. I don't know what Robert's been through. I don't know what he's been through to need whatever kind of money he needs in order to overcome whatever kind of trauma he might have faced. I don't know all of that, so it's not my place to tell him. You know.
Lala, I wanted to address that too. We have basically posed the question of whether these numbers that we're being fed are real or not real. So, of course, we can get these subliminal messages to basically sway us one way or the other. But to Robert's point, these retailers, when they post their earnings, these companies, when they post their earnings, it's not going to be based on, what makes a certain administration or, certain people look good or feel good. It's going to be based on what they really did earn. So that's going to tell the true story. Is that going to be in alignment what these profit and loss statements are saying versus the messaging that's being pushed to us?
I think everybody's on point with that. It is a conundrum that we all have to deal with within our own selves to make those decisions. It's not for us to point fingers at others who have to do something. No, listen, I've always said, Walmart, I don't have to worry about Walmart. I could care less about Walmart or Target. But there are many communities where Walmart is the only place to shop. You're either going to feed your family or you're not going to feed your family. Or you're going to grow a whole farm and, cows and chickens too. Like, you have to make your decision based upon what is good for you and what works for your family. But we also have some stats, because Lala loves stats. So we're going to pull up a couple of those so we can discuss those as well. But I don't know about y'all, I'm still feeling like these numbers are lying in the first place. In 2025, U.S. shoppers spent a record $11.8 billion online on Black Friday, primarily purchasing items in the categories of apparel, jewelry, electronics, and home appliances. The use of artificial, and I don't know what that last sentence was, The use of artificial intelligence and mobile devices were key trends in this year's shopping spree, right? And we are pushing that. We're asking everybody to learn AI and things that they need to do. Studies show boycotts rarely succeed without long-term structure and consistent participation. Financial stress can make boycotts harder because discounts feel like relief. I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna stop right there. Because there were many things that were uncovered. You know what we have in this time period in our life is people in the streets who have access to report to us what is going on. And there's this one gamer, one crafter who is not in nobody's struggle. It's a young white lady, but she wanted to add to her Christmas collection of ornaments. So she went to Michael's. When she had her little self together, she knew what she took the picture online of what she wanted with the price. She went to Michael's. Michael's had removed all of their stickers. They removed all of their scanners. They were saying that certain things were 40 and 50% off. And when she compared that to what she got online, she said, this isn't off. They marked it up to 12, saying 50% off. And this is the same price. And the online price was not a discounted price. So I believe there's also a lot of shenanigans going on and a lot of things that we really, really need to pay attention to, because there's a lot of things that just do not add up at all. So we are going to be talking about that this week. So I want you all to continue to tune into us. And how do you do that? You surely need to make sure that you type the word Queens, Queens, to 87948. Make sure that you get that in so you don't miss that show. Now, listen, we're going to take another quick break. And I want to hear your thoughts about what I just told you. Do you think the stores are also participating in the shenanigans of making us feel like we're getting deals? Do you think that we're falling for it? Let's take this break. We'll be right back.
Target just played their customers harder than ever, and the Black Friday crowd is furious. Hundreds of shoppers stood outside in 2-degree weather, freezing before sunrise, all for the exclusive swag bag promised to the first 100 people in line. Employees hyped it up like a VIP event. They handed out hot chocolate, gave safety speeches, and passed out numbered tickets. One shopper even scored ticket number 2 and thought the suffering was finally going to pay off. But when the doors opened and people calmly walked in, reality hit fast. The holographic swag bags looked nice on the outside until they were opened. Inside, a couple of drink pouches, 2 generic note cards, and a dusty lip gloss that looked like it had been kicked across the stockroom floor. That was the premium Black Friday gift people froze for. The crowd felt scammed, calling it the most underwhelming swag bag in Target history. What was advertised like a $50 value giveaway turned out to be $3 of random clearance items tossed in a bag. One thing is clear. After this disaster, a lot of shoppers are saying the same thing: never doing Black Friday at Target again.
Target just keep on winning, don't they? They just keep on winning. Listen, Marlo, should Black-owned businesses be the focus instead of boycotting? Because, Target just played in our face again.
I think it should have been the focus from the first time, right? I think that Black-owned business should always be the focus. I think that we all, or most of us, understand that when we had to do business together, we did, and businesses grew and they thrived. Like my mom said, remembering Black-owned businesses and when she was growing up. I think it's a no-brainer that we support one another, but we haven't had to. So it's almost like you haven't used a muscle. We got, what do you call that? When your muscles are flat, we got that in our muscles, right? They can't lift nothing, they dead. So we need to reuse that muscle of supporting one another and purchasing with Black business and being intentional the way that we had to do it because we were excluded. Now we need to treat it like it's an exclusive act, right? We need to change our mindset and really dig deep into trying to support one another in a way that's meaningful and in a way that's everyday, right? And we need to approach it the same way that we approach Macy's. You don't go in Macy's, you might go looking for the sale, but if you got something in mind and you want it, you're gonna get it. And I think that a lot of times when we deal with one another, we go in looking for the cousin discount when we should just be trying to pay to keep the lights on, pay to keep the brick and mortar, pay to keep the website going, whatever the cost is for them to do business. We should just look at it as that, because people stand in line in cold weather for the swag bag with the three, I don't even know what was at the bottom of that bag. It was stop falling for the banana in the tailpipe. Target needs good publicity so that people think it's popping and it's okay to go back. Be intentional with your dollars, because that is all that businesses care about. They don't care about nothing. They don't care about your feelings. You could be crying. You could be talking about a civil rights lawsuit. They don't care about none of that, because they know you'll come back. Stop going, and that is where the change is. Withhold your dollars, and that is where you see the change. You won't see the change with a long, lengthy Facebook post and people going back and forth in the comments. I love it. I hate it. I love it. I hate it. Well, just don't spend. Be stingy with your dollars, people. That's the only way that whatever change you're looking for, if it has something to do with commercial business, it's only coming through you not spending money.
I agree. We have a stat on the screen right now, and I'm going to direct this to you, Dr. Sabrina. 80% of Americans say rising prices make holiday deals feel necessary and not optional. Do you agree to this, or on that or not?
My question is, what are we buying? Why do we need the deal in the first place? If it's something we don't need, it's not a deal. I don't care if it's how much of a discount is offered at. That's the question. And I think, this conversation, has really two emphases. Are we spending? And then the other emphasis is, are we really spending on the things that we need? Or are we just spending for the sake of spending? Now, you go back to the conversation about the boycotts. In many instances, as you said, Lala, we have to patronize certain stores. It doesn't matter that there's a boycott, because there's nothing else in our communities. There's nothing else in our neighborhood. I got to eat, so I have to go into that store. But when I go into that store, do I have to buy everything that's in the store just because it's on sale? No, I do not. And I think that's one of the things that we as individuals have to really start thinking about. Why are we spending? I mean, Joe, what's going on with our heads, Joe? Is it that we're bored? Is it that we just need something to do? Why are we spending? So, and on the one hand, when you're buying the things that you really need, that's one conversation. But if you just out there just because, people gonna always advertise something, that's the society that we live in. That's the game. Take what you have in your pocket and put it in my pocket. How long are we gonna continue to fall for that?
Exactly. But that leads to a really great question for you, Joe. Does shopping give people a temporary emotional escape?
Yeah, some people do soothe or cope with trauma through shopping. Sometimes those little bitty, what feels like successes or achievements through purchases can do something for your mental health. It's like any other unhealthy coping mechanism. You know what I mean? Like, you just do it because it makes you feel good, or releases a certain amount of endorphins into your system for a limited amount of time. And then a lot of times after you're done, you don't feel as good as you thought you did. So you have to buy more, right? That's how you know. So it's like, if someone is check to check, a sale feels like survival. If I see something on sale, or, something being advertised or marketed as cheap, and I'm living check to check, that's a survival tool for me to go in there. I'm not choosing to support the system, but I am choosing feeding my kids at a discount, or providing happiness for my kids through Christmas gifts at a discount because it's cheaper. So, that's why, we're going in there. That dopamine, that relief, that escape, that little bit of control you got, even if it's temporary, it's therapy. So, that's what we're dealing with, you know what I mean? And it's not like, it's generational, you know what I mean? Like, a generational wealth is not a huge thing in our community. So it's not like we were raised to invest. We raised to survive, right? A lot of us were just raised to survive. So that creates patterns like I got to get it now before it's gone, or I deserve something nice after doing all this suffering. I deserve the big screen TV that's only $20 because I've been suffering, and I can't. You can't take this away from me anymore. So, and our consumption becomes our identity. I mean, it's just a lot of things that go into these shopping patterns that you really have to consider.
I agree, but one thing we haven't tackled and we really haven't talked about, because let's be honest, all the videos that we saw of people shopping, they weren't us. We saw not a brown black person in the background. I didn't see no black person saying they were standing in line at Target for that old raggedy ass bag that they got. So we represent 13% of the US. What if it's the others and not us? And then listen, we had a great comment. I'm trying to find it right now. Dewana said, I rode by the mall and I saw a huge amount of Latinos going inside. So does it matter to us who is boycotting, or are we only putting this pressure on our communities? Dr. Sabrina, what is your thoughts about that?
Well, I think right now the conversation really is for us. It's about us. We can't control what other communities do. Hell, we can't control what our community does. So I like the way Dr. Boyce always puts it. I'm not anti nobody else. I'm just pro-Black. So my messaging and the things that I have to say are for my community, because I can't control them other folks. I can't, Yeah, you only control yourself, but you've got companies that are telling on themselves, such as Target. I know we always mention them because Target is the main one that everybody's kind of watching. Because I'm gonna tell you, I was a Target anonymous person. Let me go into Target. I wouldn't even buy nothing. I just be walking through the daggone aisle, just like, that's pretty, that's pretty, that's pretty. But they lost me, right? But now you also have companies like H&M who have been in trouble with our communities many, many, many times. Let's not forget the little monkey to represent the Black boy. Okay. Things like that. But now they just announced that they are pulling in more Black designers. Marlo, what does this mean for us? I mean, they're trying to lure us back with that. Yet, how do we not hurt our own people when they are put into these stores? What's the conundrum here? How do we solve that?
Well, never let anybody tell you that 13% is an insignificant amount of anything, right? Because even if it's 8% of the 13% that's divesting their money from these companies, they feel it enough to have to try and do something. Because if they didn't feel it, they'd be getting their money over wherever they're getting it, and they wouldn't be spending the ad dollars and the marketing dollars to let you know that they're doing this direct outreach with your community. So I think that, there's obviously strength in this 13%. There's buying power in this 13%. And that's what we need to be focused on. And we need to be focused on the best way to exercise that beyond commerce, right? How do we exercise that 13% of power in other places? How do we do it politically? How do we do it socially to turn our communities around? And it is a mighty, mighty haul that we have to do. But I think if everybody just does something, if we all do nothing, then it's overwhelming. It's too much. But if everybody does something that they can do consistently, something that they can actually tangibly do, right? You can't boycott Gucci if you ain't buying Gucci. And it's not disrespectful to whoever said that. What I'm saying is, if you weren't already supporting it, then you saying that you're not going to buy it is irrelevant in the first place. So I think that we just need to start thinking about what we all can do in support of our community to grow our businesses, to change the trajectory of our communities, to grab a hold of our young people, all the things that we talk about every week. But we need to just start doing them in our communities, right? I'm in Louisiana. I can't worry about Texas. I can't worry about Arkansas, the neighboring states. I can keep my eye on them a little bit, but I need to be focused my energy here. I need to be organizing here. I need to know who the players are here and what to support here before I worry about anything else. And I think that part of our misstep as a community is that we look at this and it's so big and it's so vast and it's so grand, and they keep telling us that we are so few that it seems overwhelming. But we can do it because we have done it, and they wouldn't be investing in, oh, we're getting Black designers. I didn't even know H&M was still open, to be honest with you. When I saw that headline, I was like, dang, they still open? Like, because I haven't been there since we had the coolest monkey in the zoo. See how I remember that? See how I retain that information so that I don't spend my money with people that I don't feel like treat us with the respect and dignity that our dollars require.
I totally agree, because I did not forget that at all. BLB 1999 says we also have to look at the con with a lot of us being laid off because of the effect of the boycotts. A lot of us work those jobs. So, there is a whole big bubble of all of this that comes together. I mean, it's not just one piece. We do have to look at the whole picture on how it affects our communities. We got a couple more stats. Let's check those out. Ownership rates among Black Americans remain lower than every other group. Wow. True economic impact comes from redirection of money, not temporary pauses. I'm saying mine is not temporary. I'm so dedicated to not going to these places that I know, and I do look a lot on those apps that tell me who they supported, how they voted, and things of that nature. Some things you cannot avoid, but you also can use them as tools to build your business. It's hard. No one is saying that you need to go sit in a corner and not do anything at all. You just have to do what's best for you. We have another video. We're going to check that out, and then we're going to get into our final thoughts.
You should be trying to finding a way to eliminate these corporations from your life. I have not been back to Target or Walmart in over a year. Instead, I believe that we should be looking for clear alternatives to replace these corporations forever. I am never going back to Target. I am never going back to Walmart. I am never going to associate myself and pay for Amazon products. Why? Because they are funding my demise. And as Maya Angelou said, when people show you who they are, believe them. These corporations, the people behind these corporations, have made it very clear how they feel about Black people. And if you continue to give them money, that is insane. Now, for those of us trapped in food deserts that have been created by corporations like Walmart, we have to work harder to give our people access to Black-owned grocery stores so that they are not forced to go to Walmart. And Walmart, by the way, has a whole bunch of food that you can't even eat. So they're literally feeding us garbage on top of funding our demise. And there's a long list of companies that are involved in this. Home Depot, Publix. It's wild out here. I think you should join my Forever Boycott. If you would like to donate to the BRC to help fund our programs and community actions, hit the link below this video or the link in my bio, depending.
I do not think that she is calling for something that is unrealistic. I think we can get there. It's going to take time. It's definitely going to take time, and it's going to take energy from all of us with the right kind of energy. So with that being said, we're going to wind this down today, and we're going to go into final thoughts. So I'm going to ask each one of our panelists what their final thoughts are, but you also need to let us know where we can find you. So Dr. Sabrina, I'm going to go with you first.
This has been a very interesting conversation, and I'm sure that, like everything else, in the end, the truth will reveal itself and we will know. But whether or not the numbers are true, my question and really my encouragement to our community is for us to really start thinking about how we are using our Black dollars, what we're investing in, and are we really, really using them to acquire the things that will better our lives and our communities. If we are not doing so at this moment, and that's an honest conversation we have to have with ourselves, there's no judgment here, but I would encourage us to use this as an opportunity to make the shift and to start doing something differently with those Black dollars that will benefit not only us and our lives, but our communities. That being said, I am Dr. Sabrina Edmon-Williams, educator, author, and investor, opening minds, closing contracts. I am so noted. I'm so excited and delighted to be here on this very first day of December. This year is almost gone, you guys. And if you have not gotten that legacy planning done, please go ahead and check me out. Hit me up. You can find me across platforms at I Am So Noted. That's IAMSEWNOTED. Peace.
Absolutely love that. I love how she just makes me want to just sway as she tells you what to do. Please make sure that you go and check her out. She's got nothing but good things for you. Joe, you're up next. What are your final thoughts and where can we find you?
I'll start with where you can find me. My website's right there, willyouconsulting.com. Please look me up if you need some guidance or some healing. Anyway, listen, if you are actively cooning, I'm not really trying to convince coons. So I'm not really talking to you. So you do keep going doing what you're doing. Whatever is beneficial to you, you gotta live with that. But at the end of the day, like this whole thing is bigger than Black Friday. I understand that a lot of us we do want to boycott. We want to stand in unity and we want to move as one. And I don't minimize or ignore your reality, but because boycotting requires a lot of sacrifice. And I know sacrifice is hard when you're already struggling. So when it's hard when comfort is like scarce for you and survival has always been a priority. And I know that Black people, we're not spending because we don't care. It's the ones that are boycotting. We're just tired and under resourced, and we still healing from all this trauma. This is a real thing. Like I'm in the streets, I see it. So boycotting asks for a lot of strength that many of us don't always have access to. So I understand that. And I don't minimize that. And I do know that I want change. And, it's going to demand some discipline for us to get that change. Our purchasing power is very real, and our unity can be very real as well. And I hope that once we heal enough to move forward, that our voice will start to become undeniable. So, I mean, that's work, but I have hope, and I'm not going to speak down on hope. I'm not going to call it hopeless. And the future, we're building it. So, that's it. That's all.
I love that. And I think for many of us, we are looking to put our dollars where it needs to be. And when we can do that, that adds to the success of what we are doing. Marlo, what is your final thoughts and where can we find you?
So I don't have a long final thought. My final thought is if you are having trouble disconnecting from consumerism and from needless shopping and from injecting money into a consumer economy that doesn't treat you well, talk to Joe. That's what he's here for. He will help you get to the bottom of that. Dig deep. Figure out what is rooted in you that is making you spend money unnecessarily in places that really would not have you there otherwise. And that's it. Break the cycle. You don't need to be buying all the unnecessary things, and just be smart about your consumer power because your money is power. Don't ever forget that. My Instagram handle is right there if you want a little jokey joke or a little quip, or maybe one day I'm feeling cute and I post that. I don't know. Follow me on Instagram. I'm trying to build an army of Marlo-minded people who just want to be good in this world, and we don't want war and stuff. That's what we're trying to do. So follow me if you're into that. That's it.
I love it. Marlo-minded people. We need more of that. We do. So please make sure you go and follow Marlo as well. Now, listen, my final thought is this. Things don't matter You can lose things very quickly, but what you can't get back is lives and memories of those who are around you. That is priceless. So many of you know that I have a website and I have a lot of free things for you there. So listen, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it. If you haven't, then go check it out. But my final thought for you today is to please, as we enter into this holiday season, do not drink and drive. There is no reason for you to get behind the wheel of a car when you are inebriated or even feeling a little tipsy. Save yourself and save the grief of others as well by driving when you are only sober and taking Uber or a friend or sleeping in someone else's couch during this season. Life is priceless, and you can't put that under a tree. So we thank you today. We thank you so much for being here with us. We appreciate every last one of you. You guys know that I absolutely love every last one of you. El Michelle, thank you so much for coming in today and giving us great conversations, and the Black Lexicon and Anonymous. And we have Michael and Denise, and we had Double A. We had Walterine. We love having you here. We had Linda, Robert, Booker, Dr. Vibe. We had so many people who are our family. And we love you for being here, and we appreciate you so much. Never, ever think that we take that for granted. Today's show, it actually showed us that our money is powerful, but so is our mindset. We cannot change a system we continue to fuel. At the same time, we cannot judge people who are doing the very best that they can in a tough economy. The truth is this: real economic power is not just about what we stopped buying. It's about what we build and what we own. The next step is not guilt, it's strategy. So we thank you to all of my amazing panel today. We've lost Joe, but we love you, Joe. He always has something to bring. Thank you, Marlo. Thank you, Dr. Sabrina. And thank you, Tiara, for always being such a wonderful producer. We love you, and we're so glad to be here with you. We enter today to December. This is the last month of the year. Make it the best you can possibly make it, and follow us every day, Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace out. See you tomorrow.